How to get a job in computer science. So, recently, I got a job in computer science starting next July in an insurance company from Connecticut. And in this video, I will outline my career trajectory, share some lessons and stories I've learned, and how you can employ some of the lessons that I've learned. This is free knowledge from a bunch of books, a bunch of failure, so pay attention. I'm not going to say it twice unless you rewatch the video. So, for starters, I'll talk about where I started. High school kid, I played a lot of video games. You know how it is. You guys can probably all relate. Then I got my first job at Dunkin' Donuts, and I hated it. I actually fucking hated it. Um, it was a lot. My manager was such a jerk to me. She would yell at me a lot. But I did find positive in it. While I was working at Dunkin', I made sure to I read a lot of books. Like I listened to a lot of podcasts, and that's when I started to grow my mind. Excuse me. Rather than just kind of zoning out, I stayed mentally aware, and I read a lot of books on communication, people skills, I don't know, how to talk to girls, stuff like that. But it eventually got to a critical mass where I had quit that job. And that was scary because it was so comfortable having this job, and I was just on my own. So once I quit Dunkin' Donuts, I had begun working for jobs. Fast forward in my community college. I started with the registrar. I worked at the registrar at Naugatuck Valley, and I was like, "Oh man, it's pretty chill working for the office." But they had me doing a lot of redundant tasks. Wasn't really into it. And at the time when I started Naugatuck Valley, I was an electrical engineer, and I hated it. I hated every second of it. I despised electrical engineering, not because it was hard. It was hard, but I can do hard things. It was more so that it was hard, but I didn't like it. So, a couple things changed as a result of that. I didn't like the registrar, so I started looking into the IT department at the school, and I did not like electrical engineering. One day, my friend mentioned computer science. I remember this. I'll remember this day forever. We were in the info desk area at NVCC, and he was just talking about his brother did computer science and how he makes this money, that money. And I was like, I kind of have the same requirements in that major, and it might be better than electrical engineering. So I checked it out, and I realized that I wouldn't really set myself back if I just swapped to computer science at that very moment. If I waited another semester, it would have set me back. I would have had to wait longer. But if I just switched right now and went balls to the wall, I would have done it. So guess what? I did it. I switched to computer science my second semester of my freshman year. Never looked back. And it's been clipped since then. I kind of progressed through. I was working at the IT department, a great team at Naugatuck Valley. I'll never forget those guys. I've learned a lot of lessons, and I joined a scholarship program that helped me stay connected. And that scholarship program at Naugatuck Valley kind of segued me into a scholarship program at Central Connecticut, which is where I am right now. So, as a result of that, I was able to come here and continue to build connections. So, in the summer of my junior year, I worked at the Connecticut Science Center as an intern. Great experience. The kids were a lot. The commute was challenging, but I learned a lot about communication to younger people, to children, and it really definitely helped with my patient skills and my communication. I enjoyed meeting the people at the science center, but still not quite what I wanted to be doing. And that's okay. Not everything is going to be your perfect career path, career trajectory. So, we get into junior year of CCSU, and I'm making all the wrong choices in my first month here. I'm going to every party. I'm wilding out. I'm just wilding out. But recruitment season hits, and I mapped out many companies, like so many companies that are in relationships with CCSU, companies that are outside the reach but I can get connected to, and I would make like networking graphs like of people to meet. It was kind of like you know how the FBI puts like wants to find a suspect and they have all the connections. That was literally me, and I would just meet different people, constantly trying to set up emails, setting up meetings, trying to constantly send out emails, this, that, trying to constantly get myself on the radar. I would find recruiters from completely different job fields, like social work, and talk to them and be like, hey, as an HR recruiter, what are some things that you guys are even looking for in us? Because I didn't know. Or like, what do these people even care about? Like, yeah, I'm pretty smart. So what? So from then, I continued to just grind. I was applying, I was grinding elite code, all the corny stuff. I was building my network at CCSU, and one day I got a phone call. It was like 9 a.m. and I was totally sleeping in. It was 9 a.m. and my life changed. It was on like a Saturday or something. And I got a phone call from the recruiter at the Hartford, and um he began to go over the details of the internship that they were offering me, and I was just like, I remember the first thing I said was, holy shit. Like, I was just like asleep. So, you know, I spoke to my friends and they were like, bro, just accept it. Because at this point, I had received other offers from other organizations, so I didn't know how to proceed, to be honest. But my friends told me, just go and don't look back. And I considered what they recommended and I went for it. Fast forward to the summer of that year, and man, I had never seen that type of money in my life. I I was baffled at how much I was compensated for just the value of my communication and my logical skills. And I mean, I'm grateful. I'm not trying to front you guys and say that there's no money in that field because there definitely is. It was such an adjustment, coming from working at Dunkin' Donuts and stuff like that to programming in the insurance industry. So the summer internship concluded, and here we are in yet another recruitment season. Time was ticking. I wasn't quite hearing back from the organization for a return offer. I was getting kind of nervous. I thought that maybe there just wasn't the space for me, there wasn't the budget for me, and it was stressing me out. And I began to, network, get on that grind again, meet other organizations, try to find myself, put myself in rooms where I could succeed in. And I remember I was so exhausted one day. It was such a mentally draining week of like grinding and networking and all my other stuff. I took a nap at 3 p.m. and my phone rang. I didn't have the number saved, but it was from Hartford, Connecticut. And just like last year, I picked up the phone and a familiar voice began to outline the details of the position that would change my life forever. And I reviewed the offer carefully. I revealed the news to friends and family, and I've accepted it. And I've learned so much over the course of these lessons, like starting from Dunkin' Donuts to working at a school to navigating recruitment season. Now here I am. I'm at the end of that journey and the beginning of a new journey. So I just want to come on here and hopefully provide some valuable insight. I hope you guys learned something. I've been getting an influx of questions, and I hope that this helps because I can't possibly answer every question. So I want to be able to centralize my information and help you guys.